Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We are back again with more Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Let's get into Ranger, the class that lets you specialize in annihilating specific types of enemies. We have already reviewed these mechanics in my 25 base class mechanics video, and there's a link for that down in the description below. Overall, I give this class a C because there's an archetype that is clearly better. The first archetype is Demonslayer. You lose access to endurance, which in my opinion is irrelevant. If you are not focusing on strength, then athletics won't help you, and if you are, then you can get a great score even without that +2 bonus. The extra saves against fatigue don't really matter, because even if you need to rest less often, that doesn't mean your team is as resilient, so you'll still end up camping the same amount of time. You also lose the ability to select your own favorite enemy. In exchange for this, you automatically choose Evil Outsider as your favorite enemy. This is a big deal and makes a massive difference in your capabilities. All the other rangers cannot just choose Evil Outsider. Instead, they need to narrow down into a specific category, such as Demons of Strength or Demons of Slaughter. By level 20, this class gets an automatic +10 bonus to attack and damage against all demons, while also getting a +5 bonus to saving throws against spells and effects those demons create. Needless to say, this is bananas. It's also worth noting that Rangers get a spell called Instant Enemy that lets you transfer your favorite enemy bonuses onto a different type of enemy as a swift action. So when facing a human boss, you could just activate that spell and still get all of that wonderful bonus. At level 3, you get a bonus equal to half your class level added to any knowledge arcana checks. Rangers already get a lot of skills, but depending on your team, this might be nice to have. At level 4, Protection from Evil and Protection from Evil Communal are added into your spell list. This spell is common, but it is very useful to block domination attempts, so the addition is welcome. At level 11, your quarry ability is changed to give you the option of making all weapons good aligned instead of taking a +2 attack bonus. I definitely don't think the alternative option is worth it, but it doesn't cost you anything to have it. At level 19, instead of accepting a +4 attack bonus, you can make your weapon holy, which will add an extra 2d6 points of damage to your damage rolls against creatures of an evil alignment. If you feel relatively sure your attacks will connect, this is a fantastic option. I give this class an S+. Demonslayer boasts favorite enemy bonuses, quarry bonuses, saving throw bonuses, near perfect combat style feats, holy damage, and of course a pet of your choosing. That's not even counting some of the really useful spells you'll get like Bark Skin, Hurricane Bow, and Sense Vitals. On top of all this, thematically Demonslayer fits into the game world like a glove. This is a clear upgrade over Ranger, and it's really difficult to go wrong with this class. Next on the list we have Espionage Expert. Your casting attribute changes from Wisdom to Charisma. In my opinion, this is an inferior change since Wisdom increases your will saves, while Charisma helps with your Persuasion skill, which is something party members can easily cover. You lose access to Endurance, which again doesn't matter. You lose Camouflage, which I would rarely if ever use, so I don't consider this a loss either. You lose 3 rankings of Favorite Terrain, which isn't a death knell, but it's a pretty sizable blow to the class. On top of this, you lose the ability to select a pet and are instead forced to take Ranger's Bond. Ranger's Bond isn't a bad ability, but it definitely pales in comparison to having a pet, especially in the early game, so this hurts. Finally, you lose the Ranger's Capstone ability, but it is replaced with something else. In exchange for this, you gain Trap Finding, which increases your perception checks by half your class level. Not only is perception a great skill, but it's great to have multiple party members who have high levels in perception. Perception highlights hidden objects or switches, unique dialogue options, and sometimes even secret locations on the global map. When these checks come up, your entire team will each have an opportunity to clear the check. So if one person gets a bad dice roll, it's nice to have 1 or 2 backups who can make sure that secret loot chest pops for you. At level 3, you get the same bonus for bluff persuasion checks and stealth. Like I said before, persuasion on your MC is not necessary because it's easily taken care of by party members. Stealth, on the other hand, is very useful because as you travel the world map, the game will repeatedly check the stealth rating of different characters on your team. Failing this check will result in you being ambushed. Having multiple people on the team with a high stealth rating will allow you to either avoid surprise encounters or give you the option to evade them. Finally, at level 20, the character gets a typical make a save or die attack. Like all the others, this one does not get a DC high enough to impact the enemies you really want to take out, so it's essentially useless. I give this class a B+. Favorite enemy bonuses are nice, but the loss of a pet and favorite terrain bring this class down significantly. Next on the list is Flamewarden. You lose access to a pet and Ranger's Bond, which is a massive sacrifice. You also lose evasion and improved evasion, which makes this class less tanky and is another significant sacrifice. You also lose camouflage, which is irrelevant. Finally, you lose the capstone ability, which I also consider to be irrelevant. In exchange for all of this, you get Touch of Flame, which lets you give a weapon the flaming special ability, adding 1d6 fire damage on a successful hit. More damage is always nice, but this is nothing to write home about. At 9th level, you get Breath of Life, which can revive recently dead party members. This class is not a healer, so the ability is a poor fit that doesn't really help you. At level 12, once per day after taking fire damage, you can remove a bunch of nasty status debuffs, 1d6 ability damage, and 1d6 ability drain. Again, your focus is on damage dealing, not reviving or clearing debuffs. This doesn't help you. At level 16, when you die, a wave of fire spreads out from your body and damages enemies. You shouldn't be dying, so abilities that require you to die are irrelevant. At level 4, you get Fire Belly, which provides fire resistance and summons small fire elemental. None of the summoning spells are worth it because Ranger has great spell options like Bark Skin, Sense Vitals, Effortless Armor, Animal Growth, and others. Taking one of them off to have a summon doesn't make sense. At level 7, Scorching Ray is added to your spellbook. This is irrelevant because again, Ranger has a bunch of great spells that you aren't going to want to remove just for Scorching Ray. At level 10, you can summon a medium fire elemental. At level 13, you get Flame Strike, Volcanic Storm, and summon large fire elemental. I've already mentioned the summons aren't worth it. Flame Strike has a reflex save, which makes it worthless because you are certainly not going to invest the feats necessary to bump its DC. Volcanic Storm is also worthless in my opinion, since both its initial damage and the difficult terrain after it hits can affect party members. Finally, at level 20, you become immune to fire and automatically revive once per day. These are definitely nice defensive abilities. Overall, I give this class a D. It's not completely worthless, but it's hard for me to justify anyone taking this class. Next, we have Freebooter. You completely lose access to favorite enemy, which obviously is a big sacrifice. You also lose the ability to take a pet, which is another big hit. In exchange, you gain Freebooter's Bane, which lets you, with a move action, give the entire party a bonus of up to +5 to attack and damage. More attack bonuses are always really nice, so this is welcome. At level 4, you get Freebooter's Bond, which lets you, with a move action, give all allies a +2 bonus on attack rolls when flanking. This is a lower attack bonus than what Ranger's Bond can potentially provide you, but it applies to all types of enemies instead of the one you chose with favorite enemy. Overall, I give this class a B. The loss of favorite enemy and the pet definitely hurts, but the team-wide buff mechanics are welcome. Next on the list is Nomad. You lose the ability to choose your own combat style and instead are forced into archery. You also lose the ability to choose Ranger's Bond and instead are forced to pick a pet at level 1. That's the superior option, but the problem here is that you are forced to take a horse. The disadvantage of the horse is it doesn't get the auto trip attacks that are available on pets like the wolf and dog. The advantage is the horse is big enough to mount right at level 1 if you so choose. Keep in mind that this class pushes you into archery, and at first you will be attacked anytime you are in melee range and try to use your bow. This changes at level 5 when you will automatically get Point Blank Master, a great feat to have for any archer who wants to attack up close. Overall, I give this class a B+. Archery while mounted works a little weird in the game because the mount won't automatically run up to opponents. So this can be very effective, but it requires more hand holding than if you just kept them separate or used melee attacks while mounted. Quick note before we review Stormwalker: if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you subscribing and hitting the like button. This information tells me which content the channel is enjoying and helps my videos spread to more people. I really appreciate all of the support. Last on the list is Stormwalker. You lose the ability to choose a combat style and instead are forced to take archery. You lose the ability to take a pet or ranger's bond, which is again a massive sacrifice. You also lose improved evasion, which makes you less defensive. Finally, you lose quarry and improved quarry, which is another massive sacrifice that significantly hurts your damage. In exchange, at level 4, you can add the lightning special ability to your weapon. This is only for a small amount of damage, so nothing to write home about. At level 11, you get Flash Step, which lets you, as a 4-round action, move to any unoccupied spot within 60 feet and then perform a single attack. You do not provoke an attack of opportunity when you do this. This is basically a get out of jail free card, so it's not bad to have, although with Point Blank Master, it seems to me if you are surrounded, you should be plugging enemies full of arrows. At level 16, you gain immunity to electricity, which I don't see as especially useful because I don't think most enemies use electricity. Finally, at level 19, when using Flash Step, you could do 2 attacks, which both are used at your highest attack bonus. With this upgrade, the ability makes a little bit more sense. Overall, I give this class a B-. It's less disjointed than Flamewarden, but I still think there are better archetypes available. That wraps up my rankings for Ranger and all of its archetypes. In summary, I rank Ranger C, Demonslayer S+, Espionage Expert B+, Flamewarden D, Freebooter B, Nomad B+, and Stormwalker B. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, share this content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.